you might have heard of medical negligence cases, but maybe you're not sure, well, what categories does it come under? And maybe you might be thinking of a situation in your own life and wondering, well, does that come under medical negligence? But you don't really know what to do about the situation. Well, on the line to give us some advice on this, we have Cora Sherlock Solicitors, and Cora's with us on the line. So maybe just start off with an explainer. What constitutes medical negligence, Cora?
Morning, Wendy. Yes, medical negligence, what it basically involves is a way out for people who have been harmed by medical treatment that they've received. In those circumstances, you have to have some means of recourse. What we're generally talking about here is situations where the medical care that you're entitled to falls below the proper standard of care. So if it's a case where you should have been given a certain standard of medical care and your doctor has fallen below that standard and you've been injured as a result, medical negligence is one way of dealing with that situation.
So is that slightly different then if it's a personal injury claim then?
It is, yeah. It's a different situation because one of the main things about medical negligence is that there must be a formal relationship between you and the doctor or the hospital or the medical entity that you want to take an action against. So it's not enough to say, oh, well, you know, I had a casual chat with somebody who was a doctor and they told me to do this and now I've been injured. Can I take a claim against them? That's not the case. It has to be between somebody who you have formally sought medical treatment from, so a doctor, a dentist, hospital, some situation like that.
And Cora, I think maybe it's a part of our Irish culture, you know, sometimes when things go wrong, we kind of tend to say, we'll ignore the problem, or, it's all right, or I shouldn't, or I'll just leave it. And maybe people don't go about seeking advice when they should.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a difficult case, you know, Wendy, because what you're talking about here is somebody who you trusted, you know, a doctor, a dentist, a surgeon, and you trusted them to give you the right medical care. And when that breaks down, when you feel that there's been an issue there, it's very difficult because there was a relationship there of trust. But I suppose what people have to remember is that if you have received bad medical care or something that's fallen below that standard of care, it can have a really big impact on your life, and it may be future, you know, it may be going forward into the future. So you are entitled to expect that you're looked after properly, and you know, if something goes wrong, then you're entitled to look after yourself and take whatever action is necessary.
And I know it's probably different with every case, Cora, but broadly speaking, how does it all work if someone, you know, comes to a solicitor like you and feels that they have a medical negligence claim? Is it a long journey? I think that's sometimes what holds people back. Let's say they've been through something and they think, do I have the emotional and physical energy to fight this?
Absolutely, and that's something that you have to think about before any claim against any party in a legal sense. I think what's important to remember is that it will take some time. All of these cases take time. It's, you know, you have to spend the time gathering medical evidence, getting medical reports prepared, that sort of thing. But what you have to do is balance that time against the time that is that you are going to spend being injured, or the time that you're going to have to spend, you know, getting alternative treatment. So there's a balance there. But I would always advise people, don't wait around. Address this as soon as possible. Find out what your rights are, and you know, look after yourself in that way.
And is it just that claims are made against doctors, or is it any kind of healthcare professionals?
No, that's it exactly. It's any kind of healthcare professional. I mean, you're looking at here like doctors, nurses, surgeons, hospitals, and also people sometimes forget that it's any medical entity that has been connected with the harm that you've suffered. So you could have things like pharmaceutical companies if there's been incorrect prescriptions given, or if there's been side effects that you weren't told about, things like that. So it's a fairly wide field, if you like, and the important thing is for people to address it quickly, because there is a deadline of 6 months. You have to bring proceedings within 6 months of the injury being caused or you becoming aware of it. So the advice always is to act quickly.
And you've given us great advice today. That was Cora Sherlock there from Cora Sherlock Solicitors. And if you want to seek advice from Cora, you can go to her website, which is corasherlocksolicitors.ie. On the way, our prayer coach slot, and we're going to be talking to Pastor John Ahern, and he's going to be talking about how we teach our children about faith and support our children in their faith life. Not an easy task, but I know something so many of us truly want to do.